Very well, thanks. Yes. Excuse me, everyone. Just Anthony Alfacci is the original here.
How are you? Got a good looking bunch from behind. Even better looking.
Oh, absolutely.
How are you all?
We improved.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Okay, let's. Everyone got the coffees? Everyone happy? Well, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Yes. Thank you very much for sharing the love. Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to our meeting. First of all, I just confirm that what we're doing is, after last year, we're not doing a live feed, but we are recording it. And if there are some highlights, we might pick out a few little bits and pieces just to give people an idea of any salient points that came out of the meeting, we'll try that. So we'll put that up, and if there are any queries, the idea is to email the secretary at bmwclubqueensland.com.au, and we can discuss those. Okay, apologies tonight, obviously being Valentine's night. We've got lots of people doing lots of things, but we've got apologies from John Tate, Greg Wilson, Alex Irvine, John Marianne Fairman and Russell Dean. Happy?
So you've already done that?
Yes, yeah. Okay, new members. We've actually got a couple of new members tonight. Thank you very much for adding to the numbers. We've got Guy and Paul. Yes. So welcome along. Guy, would you like to just give us a brief, some words about your involvement with BMW and what you'd like to see?
Sure. So I've been a BMW for about 3 years now, only E30s. And I thought with the new car I should join the club finally. I've been wanting to for a while. So just like to get involved and do some track days and things like that, and see what it's all about.
As I mentioned to Guy, Guy knows Piers Harricks, and obviously a bit of a guru with the E30s, and I was discussing with Guy that I would like to try and promote some more activity in the E30 group. Obviously, it attracts younger members, but I want to use the club to facilitate things that they might like to do, and I want to try and find out what they might like to do. So, whether it be drift days or skid pans or tech days or a pub night or something like that. Not that I want to insist that we all come along to the E30 things, but as a club organisation, I'd like to see us facilitate and promote, the E30 groups, because the E30s group will buy E36s and E39s and E60s and move through the range. So, and also share our knowledge and our network. So, over the years, everyone's built up a network of contacts and people and skills and things. I want to make sure that younger guys with the E30s feel comfortable talking to us about, tracking that stuff down, Okay, welcome to the club, and don't hesitate to talk to any of the members and ask questions. Paul is also quite an interesting group of cars.
Yeah, so I've had BMWs for a while, but I've got some Motorsport 5 Series. I've got the first 4 M5s. But they're not on the road at the moment, and I'm just getting close to retirement and interested in working on some of them, so I thought I'd like to get involved in the club and maybe look from a technical point of view and a mechanical point of view, just what some of these cars can do and how to repair them and so on. So that's generally where I'm at.
So E28, E34, E39 and E60. Yes. So that's a broad spread of M's. Yes. So I think, as I said, also that don't hesitate. Hello. Hello, hello. Yeah, that's all right. Don't hesitate to speak to any of the club members, and any of the club members, please make Paul and Guy welcome. And if you've got any information for these guys, please spread it around. So, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Talk to us. You know, we're always around, and there's lots of facilities and resources that we have access to.
Accessing spare parts is probably a good one, isn't it? You know, just
Absolutely.
finding these unique things for E28s
Depending on where you live.
yeah, I suppose.
And worldwide, we've
Oh, is that right? Where's that? Oh, okay.
it's started already. Taking notes. Information. There'll be information overload. Okay, thank you very much.
There's a fly.
Sorry, I thought you were waving at me. Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry.
That's why I don't sit here normally.
It's
I'm much safer over there.
it's a bit too personal. I'm a rose.
He's a rose.
Yes. Okay. Let's get back to the stuff. John Tate's not here, so Treasurer's report. I'll just read from here. Total funds balanced at 7 o'clock on the 13th of the 20th is $46,455.52, which is about $2 less than the position at 31st of December 2019. So we've spent $2. We're bad. No, currently $675 owing for entry fees to round 2 of the track day. And if those fees are paid, the event will be in surplus. We're just below break even at present. Deposits of $960 have been paid for future motorsport bookings. The annual audit is in progress at the moment. We have a bookkeeper, Jenny Bailey, and an auditor, Richard Clark. So they're doing the numbers. Everything looks pretty good. Okay, drive report, John Tate. Gary Schweiker. We held a pop-up event, a run to Warwick, 4 cars, 6 people. We went up to Warwick and presented the Salvation Army using our brand new cheque, thanks to Dennis for organising. A cheque for $3,000. Cut away.
That's a note to the editor.
Yeah.
That's me.
A cheque for $3,000 to the Salvation Army. As some of you probably know, we've been raising some money for drought relief. The genesis of it was Dennis Weiss, our motorsport director, came back to us and said that they were doing it pretty tough late last year on the Downs, and seeing we use their facilities, we should try and do something. So Dennis and a group of people have been literally rattling the tin at events over the last little while. We raised a certain amount of money and the club topped it up to $3,000. As I said to them when we were presenting the cheque, in the rain for the drought relief, that the best part about the cheque presentation was that we'd broken the drought. So we'd like to take credit for that. And being the media junkie that I am, I went round to the local newspaper and knocked on their door and spoke to a journo, and they wrote a nice little article in the local newspaper up there about our work and our donation. So everyone, thank you very much. It's nice to put back into the community. If you don't know, one of the parts of the charter of the BMW Club organisation is to do some charitable work. So we try at times, and it's quite pleasing to be able to put back into regional areas. You know, having grown up in the bush, I know how tough they do it out there. Moving on, the spring brekkie run will be on Sunday 23rd. Currently we've got 40 people registered. So anyone else, please, if you want to come for a run, that details are on our website. You can jump on there, get the details and register. A run through the scenic rim for lunch at Boona is planned for the 5th of April. And that's about it for the drives. We are talking to Speed on Tweed. You may know that Speed on Tweed is coming back for the first time for a long time, and I've contacted them and am talking to them about how BMW Club Queensland can support the event, whether it be as promotions or bodies or whatever. They're doing it pretty tough at the moment, trying to get themselves together and organised. But we might do a run down to Speed on Tweed. We might even look at having an overnight down there. But that's
Already been booked.
yeah. Some accommodation has been booked. I think
Yeah,
downstairs. Yeah,
Already.
Oh, I filled one in 3 days.
Yeah.
yeah. So it is a popular event. Okay, that's it. John Fairman not here. Numbers have been up and down. You know, we're hovering around the 400 mark. I think we're about 395 people at last count. Natural attrition, people come and go. It's just normal club life. So nothing to be concerned about. But don't hesitate to talk to people. If you see people in a nice BMW, ankle tap them and tell them.
Gary tackles them.
Yeah.
Hello, how do you like me so far?
Yes.
What do I have to join?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I did get a message from Joe Seychelles, who is a club member and is always coming up with ideas, and I love him for it. He's just sold his BMW and bought a new one. He made a suggestion that wouldn't it have been great to be able to give the new owner of his car like a 3-month complimentary promo membership to the club, just as a thing to introduce a new person to the club, let them know what it's about, and so we might look at that anyway. As Joe was saying, I'm sure that the Peach Club software, Wild Apricot is our web package, could do something like that and create a special free membership and make it complimentary for 90 days and then auto renew it and have them for the rest of their lives as club members. Okay, thank you. Registers report. Oh, goodness gracious, John Fairman. Spoken to all the register leaders and trying to get some activity happening. What we're finding is that later in the year, sadly, John Tate is going to step down from both the treasurer role and the drive coordinator role, and so we're going to need a new drive coordinator, a new treasurer. So that's another matter. But what we would like to do is get the people who look after the registers to set some runs. So in the classics, Adam Smith has committed to set a run for late April, and is also going to do a tech day at his Jindalee business. He runs a company called Bavaria Classics. Rockley, sorry. Yes, so he specialises in restoring older cars, so he'll have a tech day, and then he'll probably do a run later in the year. And I suggested that because he lives down the Gold Coast, that run might be the run to Speed on Tweed. So, classic cars, Speed on Tweed, that sort of all seems to be a good thing. Piers Harricks is also keen to push along with the E30 register and try and get some action happening there, as I mentioned. So that should be great, and a tech day and a second event, you're not sure what, so we need to find something that the E30 guys might want to do.
Got some info on that.
Sorry?
Got some info on something for that today.
Okay, good. Do you want to share it?
Oh, well, yeah, okay, we'll do it later. We were at QR today. I spoke to them about their drifts they do on Friday night.
Right.
That's how it works or whatever. They charge $25 entry, and they give you a voucher for $15 worth of food and a $25 entry.
Oh.
And he said if there was any I don't know if we've got anybody that wants to compete in it, but I was talking about at least going and watching it on group things. And he said, yeah, well, if there is anybody that does want to compete in it or does, then tell them that it's E30 group and keep a group together for it and whatever. So if there's something there, they'll accommodate us.
Okay, all right.
So it's just an option.
Okay, E36s, Brian Alderton has had some ups and downs with his business, with work, all sorts of things. So last year was pretty quiet, but he is quite committed to try and get some stuff happening. Brian lives in Toowoomba, as most of you know. And we've had some dealings with the BMW dealership in Toowoomba just recently. I've spoken to them, especially after the Warwick donation. I thought that was sort of in their prime marketing area, so they might be interested in that. I'm going to forward them the details about our check presentation and things they might want to put on their Facebook page. Just trying to rev up again community things in Toowoomba. We're getting more members from up there, so an E36 run up to Toowoomba or from Toowoomba or overnight in Toowoomba. Anyway, we'll see what happens. M runs, me. What I'm going to try and do this time is building the relationship with Brisbane BMW. I want to try and get them to help us stage an event which may feature some M cars, but whole of club activity. Now, whether it be a drive, a lunch, or a display or something, don't know. Anyway, that's it. And a tech day, possibly Piers Harricks's shed. The 6 Series guys, they're always doing, so I've got no doubt that the 6 Series guys will be doing all sorts of stuff during the year. We had a fantastic meeting out at Anstead. Sue's ex-boss has a 6 that's been sitting in the garage for the last, for a lot of years, but now he's sold his business. He's also looking for something to do and rebuilding the 6 and get the 6 back on the road. So a group of the 6 guys went out, introduced themselves to him. We went to his house, had a look at the car, told him all sorts of stuff, and he's all revved up, ready to go to rebuild the 6 and get it back on the road. That is absolutely fantastic. I just love it when that sort of thing happens. A, you make new friends. B, you get your cars on the road, and we share the knowledge and just have a good time. So, fantastic. Great work. So, thanks for the support. Okay, John Fairman. RACQ Motorfest. On Motorfest, we had a committee meeting a couple of nights ago. We discussed Motorfest, and what we're proposing is that this year we do not have the show and shine, the show of excellence at Motorfest. What we do is have a display and still say have a People's Choice Award or something like that, but to take some pressure off the event so that we as a car club can enjoy the event more, because a lot of the people who organise the event, the judges and all that sort of stuff, we run around all day, and I know that last year I didn't leave our stand, didn't see it in the cars, and I got that sort of feedback from everyone. And again, I'd just like to mix things up a bit. So what we might do is again have a show of excellence, but have it at a different venue. Might be with BMW, might be just in a park with a barbecue or something like that, and just pull people together so that we can just concentrate and have our own special event. But again, it's just, I'd like to do something different. We'd still like to support RACQ because we would have our spot already allocated and numbers for that. So,
Gary?
Yes.
Previously, one year that I know of, we did run it at the Plains Bridge.
Yeah.
We had the show and shine there, which took the pressure off the RACQ Day Fest.
We're looking at there's a couple of options coming up of open area in nice locations, which are a bigger area that would showcase the cars better and that too. So there are a couple of options already there that we're looking at, and it'll make it much easier, and we don't have to do all of the Tetris of putting cars in and out and who goes there and whatever. Where the show and shine is, we'll just be able to, that square there, put cars, and it'll make it much easier. That's why we're thinking that with the RACQ, we just show the cars. We showcase the cars. And everyone's just there making it a lot more, less, full on, because everyone's running around the whole day.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone else got any thoughts about that as an idea as to moving?
Yeah, I reckon it's a good idea. Yeah. Sitting around the car last year with it unlocked all the time, but waiting for judges to come and look at this and that and the other.
Well, if you want RSCQ to do the group checking, you still got to leave your car unlocked for that.
Yeah.
So, but it's optional.
Yeah.
I mean, just leaving it there.
Susan,
That the one we had at New Farm outside the car house that time?
That's one time, yes.
And
yes.
Well, the Nationals we did
Yeah.
at the
Top of the mall.
yeah, we did two. We did the
There's
club one
places,
and the Nationals one up there just to test it.
There's
Yeah,
one
we have
South
done
Bank.
it. We just took advantage of Motorfest when it started to become so big as it was, because it was ideal. It was a good showcase and all the rest of it. And then bringing in the show of excellence. But because of now, we, like Gary says, we can just change it around a little bit, have another venue that, and have more publicity.
And again, we're getting some really good response from the dealer network, and that might be something that we leverage, that we get them to host an event for us somewhere, and we have some new cars and our cars. Because the other thing that that they're doing, for example, next 2 weeks with the Flashback February, we're getting some good press. So they're doing live crosses onto the radio. They're doing some publicity. Flashback February is the dealership has approached us to supply them with some cars to put on display here for a week, to show the history of the mark. Yes. So we've got
the legacy.
Yes, the legacy of the mark. So we've got next week Isetta and Rod Campbell's yes, and Rod Campbell's orange 3 litre CS.
Sorry?
And Guy. Have you ever? Yeah. So yes, so that's for a week, and then the following week we're putting a couple of M cars in there, and they're going to put some new M cars with our M cars. Sorry.
Did it, yes?
We've been pushing it, promoting it, sending it out. Yep. There's-
Get on Facebook,
Yeah.
Susan Fick.
Yeah.
Which doesn't
It's interesting. One of the sales people here commented on Facebook. He said, I worked there and I didn't know about this event. So So anyway, it's anyway. What I was saying is that we're getting some good promotion through Brisbane BMW. They're doing press, they're doing radio, they're doing Facebook, they're doing social media, they're doing emails. So, and what we're doing is we're going to put membership flyers and flags, and I'm going to talk to the salesman before the event next Monday, and give them some background of the club or information, so that they are aware of what the club is about and that sort of stuff. So
that's what meetings are for. That's what meetings are for.
Only here or what's
just here, yeah. There's a new marketing manager here. Her name's Jasmine Webb. So she's trying to rev this up. I was going to suggest that we do it at Westside as well, but they're flat out busy at the moment with a big sales event at the moment, and just getting their head around this. So I want to make sure that this goes off well for them, so that we can.
We went to a few show days
Yes, and they had the Rolls Royces down there. Yeah, we've done a few too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Wollaston House.
Yeah, that's down at Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
It would be for you.
Yeah.
It's outside your perimeter.
Quite a few of us know about it. So.
Sponsorship and advertising. We were privileged to get a new guy on board, Alex Wilson. He runs a company called Bremen Motors, specialising in BMWs, selling BMs, and
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, how are you? It's a long way from Toowoomba. Yes. Thank you for making it down. Yes, anyway, so Alex Wilson from Bremen Motors is supporting the event, supporting the club. He's an advertiser. You'll see him in our e-newsletter. He also has a special service doing coding for cars. So, keys and dashes and all that sort of stuff. So he's really keen on having a tech day, barbecue or something like that. So later in the year, we'll lean on him to tell us what he knows. He and his wife came along to the Australia Day lunch at thank you very much, Grandview.
Cleveland.
Yes, thank you.
That is further down in social.
Okay, but yes, that's the first time that Alex has come to an event. Okay, editor's report. Me. We're working with. I'm working with Russell Dean at the moment to get the all our e-newsletters on our web page. Our new flyer for membership, which I just had printed for our event next week here, has got a panel on it which will be also on our home page on our website, which is promoting our e-newsletters. So on our home page there'll be that banner which you'll click on, you'll go through to a page where all the e-newsletters will live. So we'll be able to find all of the newsletters on there. Newsletter, hopefully I'll have the first one for the year out by the end of February. I was waiting for this event, the Flashback February, to make it a part of the e-newsletter, which has been pretty quiet over Christmas, so there's not much to report on. We had another meeting with Russell Dean at Hype Creation, talking about getting more sponsorship. We're creating on our sponsors page a section for supporters. So if anyone comes across some good businesses, people who help out in trades that you think they've done a great job, grab their business card, their contact, and we'll just put them up free of charge in the supporters section on our website, so that they just get a little bit of thank you and a little bit of exposure. We've had a couple. Yes, and we've had a couple of guys who've had some special work done by Bob James, who fixed tyres and done things at the last minute, and gone out of their way to really help out. So as a thank you, we're going to put them up there. So keep that in mind if you get some good service from people. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's all those sort of people. We're also talking about doing an annual magazine, a hard copy magazine. We're looking at pricing, how to go about that. Obviously, costs start to bite, because some magazines are always expensive to do. And fortunately, we haven't spent money on magazines for quite some time, so our funds are quite strong. But doing a once a year, an annual magazine that highlights some of the best of would be great to be able to have as a coffee table book or things, rather than, I think we've got magazines from other clubs that send us out monthly, bi-monthly. It's an expensive thing. Information, I think, with social media and e-newsletters and things, sort of covers it and gets people up, keeps people up to date. So I think we would rather spend some money in creating an annual magazine. Okay, Dennis, please, can you talk for a while? Come around the front.
For a while.
But,
You're going.
but not too much. Remember.
Friday last week was the Motorsport Australia, now called, used to be CAMS, presentation dinner where they present all their trophies and things like that for the year, and we got invited along to receive. Pick it up on the way.
We need a barrel girl. Or a barrel boy.
To receive that certificate from them, because we've now been a CAMS.
I knew I should have shut up.
We've now been a CAMS member for 10 years, so we've been rewarded for that thing. We're just now going to find a wall somewhere to put it on, because we don't have anywhere of our own to display things.
How about a clubhouse?
I know.
You know that workshop you're building, Paul?
100,000, we'd love.
You know that workshop you're building? It's our new clubhouse. Did I tell you that?
Clubhouse in the corner, you reckon?
You've only got to take a visit to the MG club rooms and see the incredible facility that those guys have got, but it took them 30 years to get it, but they own it now. And they own the Mount Cotton Hill Climb Circuit, it's theirs too, which is probably there's no other club in the country, let alone many parts of the world that have got their facility. Anyway, I digress as usual.
Exactly.
So we were handed that. On the same night they were handing out all their other trophies and things. There was a couple of our other club members that received things for the night for various events that they participated in, CAMS events. Justin Wade got 3rd place in the improved production racing. They were all racing stuff. Paul Baccini got, I think he came 1st in the short course sprint up at Morgan Park, series at Morgan Park, as a club member. But the outstanding one out of club member related was they have the Willpower Perpetual Trophy for Rookie of the Year, and it went to Harry Jones, Peter Jones' son, who's now driving Carrera Cup this year. Got a great future. Of course, they've got a lot of great backing as well. Moving on, today we had the track day, which was meant to be at Lakeside. I got a phone call at 10:30 yesterday to say Lakeside's underwater, so can we move you to QR? So start reprocessing everything and madly get all the emails out and notices out to everybody 2 or 3 times to let them know that we're now shifting venue. We lost to start, before that happened, we were looking at about 39 people, so we were reasonably nice in the black. We lost about 6, used as an excuse to bail out, but I picked out another 2. So I'll go home and do the maths. We're probably maybe a little under, maybe a bit around it, but considering the circumstances, it's not too bad. I have some of those people that didn't come, I've given them, I won't give them refunds on those, but we've offered them a free carryover to another event. So we're still holding the funds, and we will basically allocate it to this event, but it means another event down the track and we're not going to get the money out of it. So it's better than just giving them back the money and hoping they'll turn up again. Day was terrific. The weather was searingly hot. We had, for quite a while, we had pure blue sky. We got some clouds rolling this afternoon, and to be honest, for the first time ever, I really copped a fair bit of heat stress today. I didn't realise it, but yeah, I was feeling it before. But great day. Everybody behaved themselves. A lot of guys there from the MX5 club as well. And just to fill in for the new people, the rest of you have heard it before. We don't do racing in the club. We do track days and sprints and other various things. So we're not banging door handles, because obviously we've got some people with very expensive BMWs. We don't have to have a BMW to come and do a track day. We accept any cars from any other sorts of cars, as long as they're... Well, if you want to come, well, we'd love to see you. Come.
We could show Susan how to actually...
So we're happy to accept all sorts of cars to our days. The biggest class we've got a class system with different points for different, a trophy system, and some different, very basic classing to make it easy. Our biggest class is our invitational class, which is BMW club members driving non-BMWs. Is our biggest group of cars. Welcome, Bruce.
Howdy.
So the current day today was a sprint day. So that's drive as quick as you can safely, and best or fastest person in each of the categories wins points for that category, and they add up for the year for trophies. We have another series that I've just reintroduced this year, which is the next coming event, which is a regularity series. So instead of driving pretty well flat out like you do in a sprint, regularity, if you don't know, it's about driving nice and accurately and consistently, not flat out. So it's an ideal event for all levels. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a terrific event for novices to get in and come and try something on the track, because you're not driving flat out. So you go out and do a practice, and then from that practice nominate a time, and you challenge for the rest of the night, or this one next coming up is a night event. The rest of the event is to drive as close as possible to that nominated time, and for every 10th of a second you're up that time, you get points. The person at the end of the night with the lowest points scores the winner, and it's now a four series trophy series separately to the sprint series for the year. And leading right on, the next event that we've got is the first of the regularity series, which is part of a night sprint at QR. So it's under lights at night on a Thursday night, so unless you want to go shopping, it's a great escape. So it'll be out at Queensland Raceway on the 4th or 5th of March. Either way, it's the Thursday night. It's only less than 3 weeks away. We'll see heaps of people out there. We've got 20 spaces. It's our own group in the night sprints. So we're not doing the sprints, we're just doing the regularity. Terrific event for all sorts of levels. You will get half an hour of happy laps first, so you can go out and take passengers, so you can go out and just do a normal happy laps and enjoy the track, take some family for a drive. Then you'll do your practice for the regularity, but no passengers after that. Nominate your time, the rest of the night for the thing. $120 for a night of different fun at QR. Should be great fun.
What time does it start?
I think it's from 5:30, but the happy lap starts at 6:30. They'll obviously have briefing before, and then they said they'll try and get in as many sessions as they can until about 10 o'clock. So there's at least 3, but hopefully if everybody behaves themselves, we might have one more or so. So it still should be something different under lights. It's cool. Our follow-up track day was next sprint day, was due to be at QR in April. Obviously that we've just been there, I will look at now, I've spoken to them about it today, about moving that one back to Lakeside so we can keep the balance. There's a little problem that comes up there. When we go to QR, there's no noise restrictions. So we get some fantastic cars come out to our QR day, which we only do really one normal one a year, so this is not counted, or wasn't. And they can't come to Lakeside because of the noise restrictions. Some of the stuff, Peter Jones always comes in, and I spoke to him on Friday night when he was there. And those that don't know, Peter owns Tony Longhurst's original JPS. He's got a massive stable of cars. Alan Moffat's original ANZ Eggenberger Sierra. He used to own the Diet Coke Super Tourer car. These are all originals, not replicas. He currently owns Winkelhock's E30 that won the Japanese Touring Car Series just recently. The Asai Kiko car that Bowden's had from Japan that won the Japanese series, he owned that one. Most of the time those cars come out to our track days, as well as people like Bob Hamilton with some of his incredible cars. He owns one of the 10 remaining E36 M3Rs that Frank Gardner built, the rarest M car in the world. There's only 14 of them ever built. He's got one of those. That's a $500,000 car, and he brings that out to the track days.
That's what it's for.
Yeah. So we may not see some of those this time, but so we've got to make the decision. Do we sort of forego those and that? So anyway, that's where that is. There was one other. There's just one other thing I was going to say. With that donation that we did, we actually presented the money. We sent them the money last year. That was just the official photo session, I suppose you'd say. That money went directly to buying tanker loads of water for farmers that had no water. And I think it was about 10 or so tanker loads of water that we So
Yeah,
one,
$300 a tanker,
Yeah.
$3,000.
so the 100% of all that money went straight to buy those tankard loads of water. And they were saying actually, which is something you don't think, most of the people that got the water are on rented properties. Because if you're a farmer and own your own farm, you get government subsidies. If you're on a rented property, you get no government subsidies. So most of that went to support those people that aren't getting anything from the government. Any questions?
You just talk a couple here, Dennis.
What have you got?
Driver training.
Dylan from
Okay.
I forgot.
Skid control.
Skid Control
Control.
has got some events. There's a driver training event that he's got up at Morgan Park, and he's got another one somewhere. But there's just an independent person running his own events.
That was just something that I made the suggestion that they offer driver training, and I just want to let people know that these guys are around, and so I put it to Dennis to promote it. Dennis, it's also that Motorsport Australia pop-up event on Sunday.
Oh,
You want to
yeah,
talk to
I was trying to get to that. At the motorsport thing on Friday night last week, I was made aware of an event. They had it last year that CAMS ran as a motorsport expo. So anything to do with motorsport, car clubs, mechanics that build race cars, whatever. They had an expo, and apparently the first time ever they had 600 people walk through the gate and come and have a look. It was meant to be on Sunday down at the BMWCQ showgrounds, and I said, yeah, we'll go down and put a marquee up and see if we get any cars. Unfortunately, the showgrounds is a mud bog, so it's been cancelled.
Okay.
Found that out yesterday afternoon, but it's been cancelled. So I believe it will be rescheduled. So when it is, I'll let people know. We've asked if we want to take a few cars, and just a good chance to wave the flag and go and see what other people are doing. Plus, there's lots of other race clubs that are there. It was something that came apparent when I was there on Friday night, that there was all these people there getting their awards for all their racing, that they do different stuff that they do. There's all sorts of different racing. Dominic with the rallying and everything. The rallying ones were, actually I should say that, the rallying ones the following night had their own separate event, and Dominic with that gorgeous E30 of his got the best presented rally car again, the second time. Yeah, they, I forgot where I was, again as usual, doesn't matter.
You covered
That's right.
Dennis. The only other thing we had here, apart from motorsport, interclub, was
Yeah, well the
Charity Day.
charity, yeah, well the Interclub Charity Day, which is our regular charity event, it's a regularity, a teams event that's booked for the 7th of June. That's amongst other clubs, and from the 5 previous years that we've run that, we've managed to hand over somewhere in the vicinity of $53,000 to $55,000 to various charities in the 5 years that we've done it, just from the proceeds of that day. So something again that we can be really proud of.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. Leanne, at last.
Yeah.
Thank you for being patient. I know, you've got the talking stick.
Okay, Australia Day. That was well attended. We had close to 60 people, I think, turn up by the time they eventually all wandered in. But it was good because we had plenty of parking, we had plenty of space, and we had inside and outdoor areas that people could sit down and chat and have their own little groups and have, we could mill around, which was really good. It was a little bit warm when we got there, but as the sun moved over and the breeze picked up, and because we're next to the water, it actually cooled off rather nicely. So Australia Day being Australia Day, there were lots of people at the whole venue, so our food took a little while to come around, but everyone was talking around, having a few drinks and talking, so it didn't really, sort of impact. We weren't sitting there starving, we were still enjoying ourselves. So, and I think the general feedback from everyone was they thoroughly enjoyed the whole day. It was great. We had a nice venue, we had a nice location, we didn't have any inconvenience of trying to find parks or anything like that, and we were all able to sit down and have a good chat.
Just so those people don't know, what was the location and where?
That was at the Grandview Hotel at Cleveland. They actually supported us for our presentation dinner night back in September. That was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they gave this huge big gift basket as part of one of the prizes for the night. So, and the offer had been made that if we wanted to have a event down there, so we looked at as an option for Australia Day, and it seemed to fall into place
it was
rather
great.
well.
There we go. What was also nice about it was we had a number of members that came down from Toowoomba, and also Club Gold Coast came up with a group of people. So it's fantastic to be able to now share that around with people from outside of Brisbane.
That's right.
Thank you.
And with our last minute's Christmas, our meeting just before Christmas over at West Side, we had it was proposed that we put together these Christmas hampers. It was in the last minutes that we were going to do it. That was done. The meeting night over at West Side, we actually had one of the hampers there, so the staff had gone, so what we did was we left it on the main counter with a certificate of appreciation, and apparently when they walked in the next morning they were most taken by it. So that, was very good. It was goodwill. They give us their showrooms and that for us to hold our meetings and everything. I think the Monday after that, I had I had to come into the valley, so I brought in the basket for Brisbane BMW. Met with Anthony, and he was absolutely stoked. And there was bits and pieces in there, so he said he was going to have a very good Christmas.
So he didn't share it?
No, he did. He chose, and then others were. And that was the whole thing, that it was able to be open, and there were bits and pieces in there that were certain people, like, someone might like a box of chocolates, but others might like, chocolate covered coffee beans, and that's all. So that's what we did. A couple of bottles of wine, but things that people would like and take. So the whole thrust of the matter was to say thank you, because we're sitting here tonight. Anthony's walking out of here. We're sitting in here in his showroom having a club meeting, and he's quite happy for us to do that.
And as he said, he's got this certificate of appreciation on the wall in his office.
In his office, which, yes, because initially he said, he'll put it on the wall, but he's obviously decided that it was a little bit more decorative, so he's got it up in his room, so in his office, which is really good. We also, Gary took a basket down to Motorline and left that there. And you're going to follow up. You have another contact there,
yes,
so we'll follow up with them.
Yeah, so we're trying to nurture them, and also we'll look at Sunshine Coast at some stage.
Yes.
Scotty, I'll be dropping in for a cup of coffee on the way up. Thank you very much.
And then just going back to the actual general meeting held last year, which was held at Westside, they actually gave us their presentation area that we ended up having a bite to eat. We had a very quick meeting. We covered what needed to be done. We had sausages, we had kebabs, we had other food, a couple of salads, bread rolls, a whole lot of stuff. But the area that they gave us is basically what they've got there, but it's on the same level at Westside. And it worked out really well. We had things to eat, cold drinks. Russell Thomas, his wife Kerry, brought a cake and a whole lot of stuff, so no one went hungry by any means, and we stayed there for quite a while. But the good part was everyone got into it and set the tables up and all the rest of it. The guys did the cooking with the barbecue. It all wound down, everyone got back into it, packed it all down, put it all away, and we walked out as if no one had been there, so which was great. And everyone had a really enjoyable night. So once
Fantastic.
again, it's something that leads on. So there's, as Dennis said, there's track days and there's drive days and that. So for the social, we're looking at different places, probably with more like a social Sunday. What I would like, we know that the floods, there's been now floods and there's been fires. So there are general businesses in the regions that have been impacted by that. So if anyone knows of an area where there's a nice cafe that they could do with, say, support, even if we combine it with like a drive day, people can still have the drive day, but we can also make it like a social Sunday lunch. So if you don't want to go on the drive, which people do want to do, but some people might like just to drive to that location to have lunch with the rest of the people that arrive there. So that's the sort of thing that we're wanting to look at. So if you have any ideas or locations that you think would fit, can you just send a message, email, whatever, and we'll take it from there. And I think for social, that's about it. I know there has been a couple of people asking about a movie night again. We will look at that maybe more towards the middle of the year if that works, or it just depends because our calendar gets quite full. But if we can work out a time when we can. I know Anthony, he saw how successful our movie night was, or movie day was, when we put on Ford versus Ferrari and of course raised money along the lines for the charity. He was quite enthused that we might be able to look at something in a joint venture along those lines. The good part about it is if we do hire the venue, we can get basically any movie we want. If we give events a lead up time and that, and Russell, who he's the guru, he can get everything for us. And
Just Ford Ferrari.
yeah, well, but there's a lot of people were saying the Brabham movie. A lot of people didn't actually get to see that. So if we put it on for Brabham, or we even go back and do the Senna movie.
Yes. The boat sinks.
That's right.
Oh no.
Yeah, we'll just give you an ice cream at the end of it. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
So that's basically for social at the moment. So
Great. Thank you. Alex Irvine is down the Gold Coast, doing Valentine's Day, I think. I don't know.
our family is.
Oh, bugger. I was hoping he was doing a Valentine's Day. Anyway, we would like to get some new... Yeah. We'd like to get some new lanyards. So we're just going to design some lanyards up with Club Queensland on. So that'd be great. And we're also looking at doing some new shirts, club shirts. So Alex is all over those. Also, any items that members may like to have. Yeah, so if you have any clothing that you would like our logo embroidered on, either jackets or shirts, we can do that as well. So, if you've got your favourite shirt or something that you'd like to have, that'd be great. Correspondence, there's just a couple of returned wrong addresses, cards and things. Apart from that, no?
Most important is the Office of Fair Trading.
Oh, right.
That's the gospel. That's what makes the club the club.
Yes.
It's the annual
Articles of Incorporation
of association. Now that gets filled out. We pay a nominal fee for it, but it doesn't get submitted until after we have our audited accounts. So once that gets done, we can have that all. So I'll keep that on tabs. We're within time, but we've got it now, so people get looked after. And we can keep on for another 12 months.
We're in the process of planning. We've received an invitation to this year's annual general meeting of BMW Clubs Australia. Club Queensland is part of a national body of Clubs Australia, so all the car clubs and motorbike clubs belong under the umbrella of BMW Clubs Australia. So they help organise, the big end of town things, the nationals and communications between the clubs and BMW Australia. And we are also part of the International Council of Clubs. So worldwide, there's a club organisation. So worldwide, Clubs Australia, and then the individual clubs. So there's quite a hierarchy, there's quite a lot of communication, there's all sorts of things, office bearers. So again, it's for the national body. it's a period of time each year where we all get together and talk about what's been going on in our local clubs, the good things, the bad things, what we would like to see happen, the trends. So that's held on a weekend on the Sunday and Monday, the 3rd and 4th of May. I am the delegate, so I'll be going down, and at this stage we've decided that we have possibility of taking an observer. So Leanne, who has been involved in the past in the administration of Clubs Australia, as an office bearer for some time, with her experience, is going to come down with me, because this is my first event. So I'm going to lean on Leanne's experience to try and make it successful, and also, just make sure that we wave the flag for Club Queensland. I'm pretty proud of what we're doing. We're doing lots of good things in the background with our communications, with our e-newsletters, with our websites, with charities, with our dealer network. Things are really happening in the background, and we're starting to develop a great network of businesses and supporters, and I just want to keep that momentum going. So, so that'll be happening. General business, thank you. You may have seen I sent out a letter of welcome to 2020. Basically just ran through a number of things that we're trying to achieve and have planned. I won't read it, it's there, but I just went through the donation to the Salvos, the motorsport program, Speed on Tweed happening, RSCQ Motorfest, annual general meeting. Our annual general meeting will be held later in the year, May probably, and there will be a number of positions available. Well, in fact, all positions will be available, but we know that there are a number of people stepping down. John Tate stepping down from 2 roles, treasurer and drive coordinator. And Leanne's been wearing a couple of hats, both secretary and vice president and social. So we're a bit thin on the ground for committee members, so we are asking for support on committee. So don't hesitate to give us a shout if you're interested. We'll talk to you about what we need and how you can help. Thank you. And Leanne also mentioned about our social activities, trying to find businesses that have been affected by the floods and the fires. If anyone knows anything, we'd also like suggestions for our monthly meetings, whether it be speakers, discussions, tech talks, different formats or locations. Let us know. If you've got any ideas, it's your club. We talk a lot, and we do, what we think you want and what we think we should be doing. But don't hesitate to talk to us if you're bored with this. I know that John Fairman would rather stick pins in his eyes than sit through treasurer's reports and things like that. So it's just it's our club, and we can do with it what you want. So please talk to us if you've got any ideas, whether they be good or bad. I'll ignore the bad ones.
No such thing as a bad idea.
Thank you very much, darling. Happy Valentine's Day.
Is that the starting?
Yes. Thank you. Also, speakers. If anyone knows interesting people who can come along and talk to us about anything pertinent, don't hesitate to give us a shout. There's some wonderful guys out there. Someone, Piers Harricks put me onto someone. I rang them, and their father has got an amazing car collection, and there's another guy who's got another car collection, and all these people who are out there. We're just finding these people, and I'm sure that they'd love to share their knowledge and show off their cars. So don't hesitate. Relationship with the BMW dealership's fantastic. We're doing the Flashback February thing, cars on display, handing out members flyers and things. Yep, great. And we're working on social media, websites, putting the magazines on the websites, and also this Instagram and blogs. So we want to try and take some of that communication off Facebook and try and get people to use our website a little bit more. So we want to start putting more information on there to get people in the habit of visiting our website to look at things that are club specific, and that way, being on the website, we can curate it and have it there, because Facebook's great, but it just goes away. You can't find anything. What was that story about? Don't know. Anyway, we'd like to try and do that. Russell Dean is just bouncing up and down with excitement to get all this stuff happening. He works hard, and he does some fantastic stuff. We're very fortunate to have someone like Russell with his enthusiasm and his knowledge and his company to support us. I think we're a very fortunate club. Okay, that was the President letter. Speed on Tweezers done. Charity donation done. Warwick newspaper done. Flashback February done. Facebook. We're getting lots of people with requests to join our Facebook pages. E30s, for example. We're getting lots of people asking to join the E30 groups. Don't know who they are, but there's just people constantly. So there's lots of interest out there, which is fantastic to see. Club property, Dennis. We've got a box trailer that we've had purpose built with, where we carry our barbecues and our flags and things like that to go to meetings. But it's a bit cumbersome, so we sort of want to redesign the lid so we can store more stuff in it. And Dennis, our guru up the back there, is looking at getting that sorted. We're also looking at other charities' support, and with that in mind, I bumped into an interesting lady at the local supermarket who had a dog and a puppy. One of those assistance dogs, and I spoke to her at some length, and the company's called Compass, and the assistance dogs are specifically for autistic children. So basically, when an autistic child starts to panic and get upset, the assistance dog will calm them down, and it's what it's all about. So the dog is trained up and given to a family, and that dog then lives with that autistic child and helps that autistic child. Sort of, like guide dogs, but for autistic children. Anyway, little Labrador, 12-month-old, and she's training it in the supermarket to, not eat the sausages and all that sort of stuff. But then she was pushing a trolley, doing her shopping, and in the trolley was about a 3-month-old little puppy. So I just opened my wallet. I said, "Here, just take money." Anyway, next month, hopefully, she is going to come along and bring a couple of the puppies with her, and the possibility of us using that organisation as one of our recipients of our charity funds later in the year. So, yes, but anyway. That's about it on the agenda. Is there anything that else that you wanted to add?
Just thinking along with, we're speaking about the trailer, we wanted to get it reconfigured so it's a lot more user friendly and all the rest of it. Once that's done, one of my thoughts are on a social basis is we go somewhere on a social Sunday that we take the trailer, we set up the marquee, we have the barbecue, and everyone just comes along. You bring your meats and that, and we have a barbecue, a cook-off. So does that appeal to people?
We did that New Farm Park.
Yeah.
Just fortunately, New Farm Park's a nightmare now.
No,
It's too busy.
I have another place in mind.
The first club Christmas party I went to was at New Farm Park.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
Why?
that's
Sorry?
the thing.
Why no doubt?
Well, no doubt. Absolutely.
We don't have to go driving hundreds of miles, but we go for a bit of a drive, but somewhere that is a nice.
Pie shop.
That defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
It'd be nice to go to one when it's green.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
no,
or you
that's-
just have a pie and leave the barbecue in the trailer.
If you go to Ivanhoe, the barbecues are all there anyway.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
just thought that with the trailer, we can then put it to more use. We put up marquees, everyone sees the marquees, and
Yeah.
So do people think that that's something that you'd like to do?
Absolutely.
What's the other?
Okay. All right, well, you know, hats on, thinking hats on, let us know.
Gary, with the meetings for ideas, some years ago, if you go on Recycle World, we had a very interesting meeting at glucose suspension at Maruga.
Okay.
That was really interesting. And another one we had at Hamilton on brake fluid, which was a real eye-opener when brake fluids fail.
Wow.
And also Andrew West gave a rip snorter of a talk on electricity grids. No, it really was. It was fascinating.
General electricity.
Yeah. No, it was.
Oh, well, yes.
Serious.
Yeah, it's in there.
No, we haven't. That's no excuse.
We can Skype him in.
Break.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if he'll still be there at Hamilton, but that was a real eye opener. Yeah.
The break with BMW.
Yeah.
People at home easy thing about language that way that other people
Yes, there's something from the BMW thing that show you how all the bits on your car work.
Yeah.
Because most things you don't know. You go read the book,
Yes.
and then the book doesn't tell you half
Yes.
the time. You go,
Yes.
Yes.
what happened with this?
Yes. No, when you
I still have all the manuals in the library for the old cars. They're all computers.
They're all on the internet. And the seats started moving. That's convenient.
Is there anything else that anyone would like to discuss? Talk about? Hey, except Susan.
Being Valentine's Day, I heard something interesting on the radio going into QR this morning. Apparently, I don't know how or what, but some dudes did a survey on Google searches around Valentine's Day, so Valentine's Day love and all sorts of other things, and did a research on it, on which places got searched the most. And according to them, the most romantic places came in as Darwin, Launceston and Canberra. The only place that got the lowest score was Gladstone.
It's not surprising.
Why would you go to Canberra? It's cool.
Seeing we're recording this, I'm not going to comment on any of that, because if it goes to Gladstone and I say something bad, Gladstone, I hope you're having a nice night. Yes. So anyway, again, for the new guys, I hope it's interesting. You've seen, one of our smaller meetings. What we tend to try and do is to have someone along and talk to us, whether it be, from one of the dealerships or something like that. We had the Brisbane Body Shop came one night and gave us a talk on the latest repair techniques with especially things like carbon fibre. And it was fascinating. So, again. Okay. 8:15.
Yep.
That's it? Last call, gentlemen, ladies? Yes? Okay. Thank you.